Alright, welcome to another video everybody. This week in the AFG Pokemon Draft League, we are taking on the Surrey Sylveons, coached by Lunr. I'm going to go through his team, and then we'll get into what I'm bringing and why I am bringing it. The Surrey Sylveons team consists of Mega Gallade, Scizor, Clefable, Rotom Wash, Meloetta, Sinistcha, Nidoking, Terra Typhlosion with Terra Fire, Fairy, and Grass, Knacklestack, and Terra Dragonair with Dragon, Normal, and Ghost. Looking at Lunr's team, I am scared of Mega Gallade, Sinistcha, Scizor, Nidoking, those kind of things. Meloetta as well. I think Typhlosion could come for sure. I think Dragonair pretty much never comes. There's really just no reason to bring it over other things. I think Clefable does not have the best matchup here. I don't think you bring Clefable. And Knacklestack, it's alright, but I just don't see him bringing it over other things. I think he definitely has 6 things that are better. I think Mega Gallade definitely comes. Probably Agility or Sword Stance variant. Looks very good into me. Meloetta also seems to have a good matchup. Sinistcha, I'm scared of a setup variant. Typhlosion, I'm not too concerned about. I think we have good counterplay to it. Nidoking's dual stabs look really, really good into me. And then the other two, Rotom and Scizor, generally both just look quite solid into my team. So I think some variation of those 7 will probably be the team. But let's get into our own team here. Victini this week is Energy Ball, Blue Flare, Psychic, and Psych Up, rocking 252 special attack, 36 HP, and 220 speed. This is really good into most of his team. Psychic is good to hit things like Typhlosion that have Flash Fire. Otherwise, we're going to be clicking mostly Blue Flare, and then Energy Ball is really good into the Rotom. We have Psych Up only in case we can lock Sinistcha into Calm Mind or Iron Defense, and then we can just switch into Victini, Psych Up, because otherwise you're going to see we really don't have a great way of breaking it if it's Calm Mind. We don't have any physical attackers on our team this week, so it's going to be really tough to break through. So that's why we have Psych Up. I can just encore it in with something else that you'll see in our team, and then proceed to go into Victini, Psych Up, and then Blue Flare. 2 of those should be able to take it out. Next up we have Volbeat. Volbeat is max HP, max defense this week with Roost, Encore, T-Wave, U-Turn, and Heavy Duty Boots. Volbeat is surprisingly good into the physical attackers that Lunr has in his team. This is our main answer to Mega Gallade, which is really funny because this is our 1-point Pokemon, whereas Mega Gallade was a first round pick. But this does do the job. There's really not a great way for him to break through this, and if he decides to be Sword Stance or Agility, we're always switching this in. We have Prankster Encore to lock him in. We have Prankster T-Wave if things get hairy, but for the most part, we can also just spam Roost. Mega Gallade, I don't think can break through this, which is really great. It can also answer Scizor. It can encore that thing into Sword Stance. We can T-Wave. We don't take too much. So this is kind of our big physical answer this week. Can lock things into setup moves. And in general, it just looks really good, which is surprising. I didn't think it would be able to live so many hits, but it does really, really well. Next up, we have Sandy Shocks. Sandy Shocks is our dedicated lead this week, rocking the Focus Sash, almost max speed, and special attack. We have Volt Switch, Earth Power, Stealth Rock, and Spikes. Lunr does not have a great way of removing hazards, so our goal is to get some hazards up on the first turn of the game, pretty much no matter what. And then we also have Volt Switch and Earth Power, which are the stabs we need to cover for his team. But like I said, this is really just going to be our lead for hazards, and maybe later in the game, if it doesn't die to the second hit, we can bring it back in Volt Switch or Earth Power. Fourth up on our team, we have Shaman. Shaman has Healing Wish, Air Slash, Seed Flare, and Natural Gift. It has 144 HP, 144 speed, 220 special attack. We are running a lot of speed here to try and outspeed the Rotom Wash, just in case it is running a bunch of speed. We really want to be able to hit that with a Seed Flare, do a bunch of damage. Air Slash also is pretty good into his team. Healing Wish is also really good if we're low or fast. We can use a Healing Wish and full heal something. Maybe the Sandy Shocks, which lived on 1 HP from earlier in the game. And then we also have the Oka Berry and Natural Gift. no, this is not to live a hit from Typhlosion. This is actually to use on Scizor that will be switching out of my Shaman. We're going to be faster, and we're going to do at least 70 to 80% around that mark. So Natural Gift actually seems quite good, because if we hit it with a Seed Flare or Air Slash coming in and then Natural Gift the next turn, it may just die, which is really great for us. Next up, we have Porygon 2. Porygon 2 is max HP, max Spadef this week with Recover, Ice Beam, Tri-Attack, Teleport. Of course, the Eviolite. We have Trace this week. Trace is awesome because we can Trace Flash Fire on the Typhlosion, switch into the fire moves, take no damage. Really, really good. We can also switch into Nidoking, get Sheer Force, which works for both Ice Beam and Tri-Attack. And this can also switch in on Meloetta. This switches in on all the special attackers really well, and taking a hit and then teleporting out is really, really good because we have heavy hitters on our team that can do a lot of damage. So that's kind of the game plan there. Finally, we have Keldeo. Keldeo is 64 HP, 252 special attack, 192 speed. This is enough speed to outspeed a Typhlosion that is not Choice Scarf, and we are rocking the Choice Specs this week. Just as much damage as we can possibly do is really good. Secret Sword, Surf, Air Slash, and Vacuum Wave is what we are having this week. I originally had Flip Turn, but I didn't really need it. I was never clicking Flip Turn or locking myself into that. So I'm pretty much just going to be clicking things like Surf and Secret Sword. Air Slash is there for the Sinistra, and Vacuum Wave is to hopefully pick off a weakened Gallade at some point. But we're just going to be clicking Surf and Secret Sword for the most part. And that is our team for week 4 of the AFG Pokemon Draft League. We are getting into the battle here, so I will see you after the game. Alright, here we are with our battle against Femboy Valorant, also known as Lunr. I just wrapped up the match, so we are going to go over the replay here and see how it went. Alright, starting off, we know I am leading with Sandy Shocks, and that is what we do. We see the Rotom Wash, not ideal. We're going to get our Rocks up. He's going to click Hydro Pump, put us to Sash. Okay by me. We wanted those Stealth Rocks up. We can pretty freely just click Volt Switch here. We could have also clicked another layer of, or a first layer of Spikes, but I opted to keep this around, go for the Volt Switch, which is what we end up doing. Good amount of damage to Clefable. We can go into Keldeo, which will kill this with a Surf, because we are Specs. Rotom comes out. We do a lot of damage to this thing, which is great. Going to Sandy Shocks here, in case he wants to Hydro Pump on me. I can potentially dodge it, but it was mainly for the Volt Switch potential. He does opt to go for Toxic, which is a good milligram play. He lands that, and our Sandy Shocks is going to go down here. But this allows us to freely go into our Shaman, which we do know is a lot of special attack. We do land Seed Flare, which is great. Take out the Clefable. In comes the Nidoking. We know that Porygon is our free switch to this. We cannot get haxed out because Sheer Force removes the secondary effects, so we will never get poisoned from this. We could get crit, but other than that, should be okay. I'm still healthy enough that I don't feel forced to recover at all, so I'm just going to make that teleport play that we were talking about in the team builder. I'm going to go into Keldeo, which puts us in a really nice position into this Knackle stack. We can just click Surf here and do a ton of damage. Also could click Secret Sword, both look really good. I opted to go for the Surf, which does kill the Rotom Wash. In comes the Typhlosion, which we do outspeed unless it is Scarf, and I'm assuming he's going to go for a Terra Blast Grass here. So I am going to just switch into my Porygon, get that Flash Fire up, just in case he clicks a Fire move. We do see the Terra Grass, and he goes for Overheat, which is awesome. We don't take any damage from that. We can just do a free teleport once again into our Keldeo, get more momentum, and deal some more damage. Secret Sword is able to one-shot that Knackle stack from the amount of health that it was at. In comes the Mega Gallade, and we know our answer to that is the Volbeat. Gonna Mega Evolve. He goes for Rock Slide, which is an interesting bring. I actually looked at my team after. I am fairly rock weak, and it does hit a couple things that otherwise would need multiple coverage moves to hit, like Togekiss and Victini. You'd need probably Knock Off and Thunder Punch for things like that, or a Triple Axle. So Rock Slide makes sense. It is also non-contact in case I was Rocky Helmet on something. So it's a good bring. Unfortunately, it works well on my Volbeat. But I am just going to be able to spam Roost because he needs to be scared of a potential Thunder Wave, which is why he went to Nidoking. So we're able to get our health back here. Porygon once again is not going to take any damage from this. We are low enough that I want to start recovering. He stays in to get more damage. We are going to recover once again, get some more health back. No, this turn I actually went for Tri Attack, which is also good. It is Sheer Force boosted, get a lot of damage on that Nidoking, and we are able to recover and get to full. Back into the Volbeat we go. We can either T-Wave or Encore this thing. He decides to stay in and click Rock Slide, which is fine by me. I'm just going to spam Roost. He's taking more hazard damage from his Nidoking. I can freely go into Porygon. At some point, he's probably going to make a double. We get the Sheer Force boost. He does go for Flamethrower. That does absolutely nothing. And we can just teleport or click a move. We do hit Tri Attack, which is Sheer Force boosted. Next turn, we're going back into Volbeat. Volbeat easily answers this thing, as we know. Close combat. I'm just going to go for Encore, try to lock this thing into close combat. He does stay in. He's getting lowered. Now I can just click Roost again. We still have 5 left, so we're looking good. Volbeat is putting in a ton of work here. We're able to Roost this off. We can freely go back into the Porygon. He makes a nice double into Glade on our Porygon, so we're going to have to go back into Volbeat. Volbeat's not going to die to Rock Slide, so it's alright. He ends up going for close combat in case I stayed with the Porygon, because at that point he was dead to Tri Attack, so it makes sense. But we are okay here to just spam Roost. We do get another Roost off. We can once again go back into Porygon, get that Flash Fire. He's not going to do any damage with Terra Blast Grass. Overheat does nothing. We can either click a move here or teleport. I do click a move, take down the Nidoking. And at this point, the combination of Porygon and Volbeat is just going to be too much for him to handle. I opt to sack this at this point, get a T-Wave off. He's going to kill my Volbeat, but now we are faster with this with Victini and Keldeo. Go into Keldeo, kill this thing with the Secret Sword. He's going to bring in his Choice Scarf Typhlosion, and I can freely go into Porygon. He's not going to be able to kill me, and we will be able to take it out the next turn. Crit obviously is not going to matter, even 2 crits, so we are good to go here. And picking up a nice win, the combination of Volbeat, the hazards we got in turn 1, Porygon, and Keldeo were really great this match. I don't even think Victini didn't even come in. Shaman did kill the Clefable, which was great, but otherwise the team performed how I would have liked. And I'm happy with this win. We are now up to 4-0 on the season. Next week, we are up against the New York Raging Bulls, coached by Sir Blue. Funny enough, we have never beaten Sir Blue. We are 0-4 in our lifetime facing him, so I'm really hoping to take him down. He is also undefeated at this point, so it is going to be a match between the two 4-0 players. See who's going to take their first loss and who is going to make it into playoffs. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you on the next video.